Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rokah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations of much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word of truth and sincerity. This is the cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. I am continuing in my lot to bring you my ongoing series from excerpts of Hollywood, this factory of perverseness, Salakia. Another observation of predictive programming, how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. A correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movies to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether they be foreign or domestic, and I just use them as an example to bring out those similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, We Don't Need You, We Have All We Need. The image I have on display is from a film I've watched in the past. Of course, being this truth, I've reflected on this particular series. This movie was released on July 14th, 1999. The title of it is Muppets from Space, directed by Tim Hill, who was the filmmaker. Just to give you a little background history, boy, as a young boy, I used to love watching the Muppets with my my father, may he rest in peace. We used to have some good times watching the Muppet Show, and so I guess I've always been a long time Muppet fan. But this happens to be one of my favorite Muppet films. Surely I watched this when it came out of I came out of college, and this came out, and really funny film. But being in its truth, I saw some things when I reflect back on it. Basically, in the beginning of the film, it opens up at the same time as the water starts to rain on the earth for the first time. It's being the time of Noah's Ark, and Gonzo, who's the little purple Muppet with the little crooked nose there, he's always been identified as a whatever, because they never tell you on the show, or they never tell you in the movies like what he is. Here's a spoiler alert for you. Turns out that Gonzo is an alien, and he's having a nightmare about being in the times of Noah's Ark, and he's having these nightmares of abandonment and rejection, including him being denied entry to Noah's Ark. So he begins to realize just how alone in the world he is. So basically, last night at my martial arts class, the instructor had a little talk with one of the kids. He was being a little rebellious, and I have a very hard instructor, so he put him out of the school, and it was raining. It was thunder and lightning last night. It was raining. I'll be pouring. And the kids outside getting rained on. All right. And it made me think of this particular scene. But he was telling them, this comes from the topic of this lesson. He's like, hey, we don't need you. We have all we need. Meaning, hey, this is really pretty hard class. And, you know, we're getting into it. And the kids and the adults, they train together. So we were getting into it. I mean, we just our mind, body, soul, you name it. We were getting into it. Get some serious training in, and you know, you don't want to have someone that's going to have a negative influence or negative spirit. So you know, you got to get that out of the house or out of the gym. Okay, so that's basically what's going to happen here. But let me play you the scene here, and I'm going to bring out some scriptures.
Your species? Well, I don't know. I guess there's only one of me. Then you are too!
just a little levity there, but it's not going to be a laughing matter pretty soon, because even Yahweh Shai spoke at the same particular time that we're going to be living in. It's going to be like the days of Noah. And this is what these people in this world are experiencing right now. You know, they're having a great time, laughing and giggling and having a blast. Meanwhile, they don't know what time period they're living in. And I've heard it said a long time ago, yeah, whether it's past, present, or future, you're always living in the biblical times. The biblical times aren't just a time back when, just the times that are described in the Bible. If you think about the times that are described in the Bible, it talks about that past, present, and future. All right, so we're always living in the biblical times, even if you're thinking about the kingdom of heaven. But Yahweh Shai spoke about these particular days as they resemble the same days as in the days of Noah. Matthew chapter 24, verse 38. It reads, "For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark, and they were oblivious until the flood came and swept them all away. So will it be at the coming of the Son of Man." Okay. So right now, currently, there's a lot of disobedience going on, and the elect, they're going through their long suffering and the endurance, waiting for Yahweh to send his son back, who usually called Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, who is a black man, just like in this video where they have it incorrect, because it's basically iconoclasm. Even Noah most likely was a so-called black man as well. But hey, that's Hollywood for you. Okay, but it's only going to be a small remnant saved, just like it was in this particular time of Noah's time. There was only 8 souls saved. Okay, it was Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives, which make up a total of 8. To back that up, you can go to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20, and it reads, "Which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water." Okay? And like I said, those are 8 souls were the Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Okay? And every person that's living on the planet Earth descend from one of those 3 sons. And they don't really get involved in that in the so-called churches. Okay? And I never thought of it like that either, until I came into this truth. Okay? But Noah was definitely a perfect man, and it was how the elect are striving to be perfect as well. Okay, because we want those perfect bodies, but it's only going to be a small remnant that's going to come back to the Most High to be saved in the second destruction that's going to happen. Okay, and so let me just bring out just another scripture here. Ecclesiasticus, this is the Apocrypha, or Sirach, chapter 44. I'm going to start at verse 17, read all the way down to verse 18, and it reads, "Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. An everlasting covenant was made with him, that all flesh should perish no more by the flood." All right, now that everlasting covenant, just in a nutshell, is basically the first time he destroyed the earth with water. The second time he's going to destroy certain parts of it with fire. All right, it's not going to be the whole entire earth being devoured in fire, but mainly Babylon, aka America, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed by fire. It's going to be a straight up desert. Okay. When you go into that particular New Testament, it's going to talk about Hamashiach's or Yahushai's coming judgment. 2 Peter chapter 3, we'll start at verse 5 and read all the way down to verse 7. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, "For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men." And that fire mainly is going to come from the ICBMs and nuclear missiles, as well as the chariots, which people are going to call UFOs. And to us, they're known as IFOs, and they're not UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomenon. Or if anything, they're IAPs, identified aerial phenomenon, because we identify them as being the chariots of the Lord. Okay, but that's a video for another lesson. And it's so interesting that in the Old Testament you have the Noah's Ark, and in the book of Revelations, and as well as other different books, it speaks of the coming of Mashiach, Yahushai. And he's going to return to save that small remnant, which is the elect, the 1/3, and they're going to be delivered in ships. Now, same thing with this particular movie, Muppets in Space. In the beginning of the movie, they show you Noah's Ark, and at the end of this movie, IFOs show up, or chariots show up, all right, to pick up Gonzo. Okay, which is kind of interesting how they put those two things in there. And me watching at the time, I didn't put two and two together. Once I'm in the truth now, I was like, oh my God, that's kind of interesting how this movie was made with those particular things in there. Okay, I'm going to be going into Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 verse 4. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 verse 4, and it reads, for whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it, and directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value. Okay, and the course of the righteous is the same way that the elect is going to be delivered toward these end times, or specifically during Jacob's trouble. Okay, but I'm going to end it on this, because I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there is a happy ending, but a bad ending for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But it's going to be a glorious living, or happy forever, to the nation of Israel, but only the remnant of Israel shall return. Isaiah chapter 10 verse 22 backs that up. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. And the New Living Translation brings that out. But though the people of Israel are as numerous as the sand of the seashore, only a remnant of them will return. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has rightly decided to destroy his people. And who is his people? You blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, Native Americans that make up the lost tribes of Israel. Okay, so you may want to check this film out if you haven't done so already. Muppets in Space, like I said, it has the Noah's Ark in the beginning and has the ships at the end. So I just wanted to bring that out and just wanted to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and just the main point is, hey, there's going to be a lot of 2/3 that are not going to be delivered, because just like my instructor said last night, which just made the title of this particular video, hey, we don't need you, we have all we need. All right, and Israel, the Most High, Salaki, is only looking for a small remnant. Okay, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and adore in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.